As you heard, actually I want to start by asking, where were you guys 15 years ago? Bob told you I was a vagabond, and part of the reason was that I was following up on Bob Weinberg's work. We were identifying things that cause cells to grow, and I figured if you stop them, you'd have ideal treatments for cancer. Well, the problem was nobody believed me. So what I needed some funding, and I found some support when I moved to Oregon. And as you heard from Bob, we ultimately were able to convince a drug company to go into clinical trials. We took a disease, chronic myeloid leukemia, which historically had a 3 to 5 year life expectancy. Now we predict it has a life expectancy of greater than 30 years, a 95% 5-year survival. But facts and figures and numbers may not mean a lot to you. I have the great fortune of spending 1 day a week still in clinic and seeing patients who benefited from this drug. Last Thursday I was in clinic and it was a pretty typical day. I saw a 13-year-old who had started on the drug 7 years ago when she was 6 years old. She would not have lived to be older than 10 years old. Today she's a straight-A student, she enjoys dancing, she wants to be a doctor, go to medical school, and she can look forward to that kind of a bright future. I saw a 48-year-old who has 3 children. He's now 6 years into his disease. He's seen 2 of his daughters graduate from high school, 1 of them graduate from college, and had the somewhat misfortune of having this oldest daughter move back in with him so she could go to graduate school. And then I saw a 70-year-old woman who's been on Gleevec 10 years. She was referred to me from hospice. She was told she had weeks to live. And in 10 years, within 3 weeks of starting Gleevec, she was back to full and complete health. In fact, there's even a story of her, a picture of her dancing on her grave that she had picked out. She's now 10 years in, and when I saw her in clinic on Thursday, she was holding a cell phone. And I said, what's going on? She said, well, you remember my granddaughter, she was 16 years old 10 years ago. She's expecting my first great-grandchild. That's what I get to see when I go to clinic. That's the hope that you're bringing by funding promising young investigators, children, grandchildren, that are going to get to see a bright future. That's what you're funding with innovative new awards for the investigators like I was 15 years ago that are dreaming of a future of hope, dreaming of a future of bringing what Bob Weinberg started 35 years ago, what I dreamed out when I was a medical student, that was begin to understand what drives cancer. We can actually fix it. We're showing that we can do that, and there's no greater time in the history of cancer research than where we are now. We clearly face very challenging times right now. Funding for cancer research has been flat for the past 5 to 7 years. But there's never been a greater time with greater opportunities for what we can accomplish. So please continue your fabulous work. Please continue to fund these promising young researchers, because we have hope and we understand how we can beat this disease. Thank you very much.